Let's get you the latest of Prime Minister Modi, who is on his way to Saudi Arabia. He is expected to be landing soon. Of course, this marks the third visit of Prime Minister Modi to Saudi Arabia. Prior to this, he had been to Saudi Arabia in 2019, but he is going to be in Jeddah, and this is the first time an Indian Prime Minister will be visiting that city in over 40 years. The Prime Minister says that India deeply values its long and historic ties when it comes to the country of Saudi Arabia, asserting that their relations have acquired a strategic depth and momentum in recent years. He also said both countries had developed a mutually beneficial partnership, including in domains of defense, trade, investment, energy, as well as people-to-people ties. So, of course, now this is a very significant visit that's coming up, and what we really can expect as far as both sides are concerned, they're expected to sign agreements in the fields of space, energy, health, as well as science and scientific research, culture and advanced technology as well. So all that is on the agenda. Prime Minister Modi there saying that they have shared interest and commitment to promote regional peace, prosperity, security, as well as stability. While he is going to be in Jeddah for the very first time, but this is his third visit to Saudi Arabia. And of course, the Prime Minister and his popularity when it comes to the Gulf countries, particularly when it comes to the Indian diaspora, of course, he will be meeting with the Indian diaspora. He's going to be participating in an event, but also this is going to be the second meeting of the Strategic Partnership Council, and building upon the highly successful state visit of Mohammed bin Salman to India, which took place in 2023. So, of course, he has gone on to call the Crown Prince his brother, his trusted friend. And this is, while recalling the first visit to Saudi Arabia, and also the visit of Saudi King to India. And that is what Prime Minister has in fact highlighted, talking about how communication has been key and how the relationship has in fact strengthened over the years, talking about from the first visit back in 1955. So Prime Minister Modi there, is going to be landing in Jeddah very, very soon, saying that India's has gone ahead and deeply valued its long and historic ties when it comes to the relationship that the two nations share, and that they've really acquired strategic depth and momentum as far as the recent years are concerned. This is going to be a two-day visit. He is landing very, very shortly in Jeddah. What all is on the agenda is, to know more on this, we have Ghazali joining us. Ghazali, take us through what time is the Prime Minister expected to land, and also between India and Saudi Arabia, there's said to be at least about 6 MOUs that perhaps will be signed during this visit.
This visit is very significant considering the fact that Saudi Arabia is a very influential country as far as the Gulf region is concerned. It is a stakeholder in almost all the issues here, all the emerging issues, all the persisting issues. Considering the fact that the West Asia conflict is going on for the last more than 1.5 years between Israel and Palestine, and India and Saudi Arabia, they stand on Israel-Palestine conflict resonates with each other. India also demands that there should be a peaceful resolution for Israel-Palestine conflict. There should be a two-state solution, and so the Saudi Arabia also stands for the same. Now, considering the fact that how
Ghazali, of course, you're taking us through the kind of arrangements that are in place for the Prime Minister. We're believing, we are made to believe that, of course, the Indian diaspora will also be meeting with Prime Minister Modi. And take us through his popularity when it comes to Saudi Arabia, particularly the Gulf countries. We've seen that in UAE as well. What all is planned for the Prime Minister?
See, as the Prime Minister lands here, he will head to this Hotel Ritz-Carlton, and here he will interact with the Indian community members. The community members or the diaspora has come from different cities of Saudi Arabia, be it Jeddah, be it Riyadh, be it from Makkah and Medina as well, and from distant places in the entire country. We also met a couple of nationals from Yemen as well, from the neighboring country. So the Prime Minister will be interacting with them here. Behind me is the door where the community center is there, where the Prime Minister will be interacting with the Indian diaspora. This is also a part of cultural diplomacy, that how the Indian diaspora in every country represents India. It also helps India to foster relations between different countries. And here in Saudi Arabia, people are in different professions. There are many people who are into infrastructure business, into construction business, and also as Saudi Arabia is expanding and is working towards Vision 2030 of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, there are many Indian companies who have seen it as an opportunity for investment, and that is why the Indian diaspora and this entire program of Indian Prime Minister, whenever he visits abroad, that shows that how the soft diplomacy, the cultural people-to-people connect, it has always been the focus of Prime Minister's foreign visit. And after this meeting, the Prime Minister will head to the Royal Palace, where he will be meeting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and that is going to be the crucial leg of this two-day visit, because in that particular meeting at the Royal Palace, Prime Minister and his counterpart, Mr. Mohammed bin Salman, will be signing a lot of MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding, as well as key issues will be announced. There could be key announcements in the sector of defense, in the sector of energy and infrastructure, and there are other avenues, or new avenues, which India and Saudi Arabia will explore. Particularly in the sector of defense, the Prime Minister, before heading to Saudi Arabia, had issued a statement speaking to the local media here, that how India has now become self-reliant when it comes to defense manufacturing. India is manufacturing combat helicopters. India is manufacturing, the defense organizations are manufacturing drones, and this is something this is a sector in which India and Saudi Arabia can jointly collaborate. Also, Prime Minister spoke about combating terrorism, terror funding, as well as illegal trafficking of drugs. And why this is important, because Jeddah is a port city, and Indians who are coming to Saudi Arabia, largely they come through this route. They land into Jeddah, which is a port city like Mumbai, and this also becomes a transit route for drug trafficking as well. So the focus will be on combating terrorism, combating drug trafficking, as well as terror funding, because India and Saudi Arabia are also working jointly in combating extremism as well. So these are certain areas and domain where India and Saudi Arabia will look forward to deepen their collaboration. And besides that, we know that there are issues of global relevance. Very sad developments happening between Israel and Palestine, where Saudi Arabia is a key stakeholder, which sides with Palestine and demands for a two-state solution, which also resonates with India's stand when it comes to Israel-Palestine conflict. Besides that, the city of Jeddah is located near Red Sea, which has come under intense attack from Houthis, who are based in Yemen, and they have been targeting shipping vessels. Now, their targeting of shipping vessels impacts the entire maritime trade and maritime security in the Gulf of Aden and Red Sea. So India and Saudi Arabia are likely to discuss the emerging situation there as well, though India geographically is located distant from this entire Red Sea area and Saudi Arabia, but our own vessels also navigate through these maritime waters. So freedom of navigation in the maritime route between India and Saudi Arabia is something which the Prime Minister will certainly discuss with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Not common as far as Saudi Arabia and India is concerned, in terms of they are the two fastest growing economies in the world, and the partnership between India and Saudi Arabia has limitless potential. That's how the Prime Minister is describing the potentials that lie ahead. Take us through what all can we expect, the outcome as far as this very crucial and significant visit is concerned.
See, as far as future partnership is concerned, one very key sector is energy. And as time passes by, we will be more reliant, our needs will grow. And for that, we certainly need a reliable partner. We do import petrochemicals, crude oil from Saudi Arabia. We have other partners in Iran and in Qatar as well in West Asia. But Saudi Arabia is one of the largest producer, one of the largest you can say that we import a large portion of our petrochemicals as well as crude oil from Saudi Arabia. And to strengthen that relationship, we need to ensure that for our future needs also, Saudi Arabia, or our relationship with Saudi Arabia should be better, should keep improvising with each passing day. And that is why not just petrochemicals or crude oil, but when it comes to fertilizer, DAP, this is one of the most important ingredient for our agriculture and farming sector. So even in that sector as well, India is looking to deepen its collaboration with Saudi Arabia. Now, besides energy sector, defense is something which Saudi Arabia looks India for. When it comes to procuring defense purchases from India, defense equipments from India, this is where Prime Minister hinted today in his interview to the local Arab news here, that how India's Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, and other industries are manufacturing defense equipments which can be exported or which Saudi Arabia is purchasing from India. So defense, agriculture, and other avenues of trade will be explored between the two countries. Energy being a very key domain for which we had a very long standing position and relationship with Saudi Arabia. And also, Saudi Arabia also happens to be one of the key member of IMEC project, the corridor, which India doesn't call it a project. India says it's a vision, because it's a long-standing vision of India to connect not just with Middle East but also with Europe. And this entire concept of IMEC came up during 2023 when India was hosting the G20, when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was also one of the leaders who was present there representing Saudi Arabia, and he was the only leader who had a bilateral talk back in 2023 after G20 event in India. So IMEC corridor is something which both the countries will certainly look into, that what has been the progress of that project, because since 2023, after the G20 which was hosted in India, we saw the situation turning very concerning in West Asia between Israel and Palestine. We remember the October 7 attack. Now, after the October 7 attack, the IMEC corridor, the progress of that corridor has not been as expected. But India says that it doesn't mean that the progress is not happening. India has been in touch with UAE. The first leg of the project, or the member state, which will be having the first connectivity leg between India and UAE, and from UAE to Saudi Arabia. So Indian Prime Minister, when he will be here, he will certainly talk about or discuss about the progress of IMEC corridor. And besides that,
Right.
when it comes to people-to-people connect, I'll just highlight
Absolutely,
the fact
Ghazali.
that within a few days from now, the pilgrimage of Hajj will start, and Prime Minister is coming over here
Right.
just few days before the Hajj. And we
That
know
will
that
also be
India
taken up,
knows
Ghazali. Of course,
how
that is something on the agenda as well. And of course, as we do know that, there's been a special gesture from the side of Saudi Arabia with fighter planes that have escorted the plane of Prime Minister Modi as it entered the Saudi airspace.